I guess. It's been about 2 years since I started this channel, and I started it with the best intentions, but about 3 months or so after I started the channel, I got a new job, and it was very stressful and time-consuming, and I didn't really feel like I had time for other projects. I put my whole heart and soul into that, and I don't regret it, but I do feel bad that it's been so long since I made a video, because I did really want to do this. So I'm back, and I now that I've settled into my job, I feel like I have the time to do it again, and I'm really wanting to talk about books, and I've gotten a lot of joy from watching other people, you know, their YouTube videos about books, and I want to do that for somebody else, because I feel like a lot of the times I watch people's videos and I'll align with some of their likes, but not all of them, and it's hard to find someone who I really agree with on everything, and I'm not saying anyone necessarily will agree with me on everything, but I feel like the more people you have out there talking about books, the more likely it is for someone to find what they're looking for. And that's what I want to do. I feel like especially now, a lot of booktubers talk about the same books over and over again, especially in one genre, especially fantasy. You hear a lot of the same. And I kind of have beef with the whole booktube community at the moment, only because, I mean, not really, just in the sense that recently I was looking for good fall recommendations, and all I could find, basically 90% of the female booktubers that I found were just talking about cozy fantasy, and cozy fantasy kind of drives me insane. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. It's not for me. I don't care if that's your thing. Like, you know, people like all different sorts of things, and it's just not for me. And I feel like if it's not for you, most of the women you're seeing talking about books are recommending cozy fantasy, especially when it comes to the fall vibe. The fall vibe, to me, is more spooky, creepy, gothic, you know, witches, vampires, you know, fall carnivals and things like that. Not cozy fantasy. I'm also not a romantasy person. I don't mind if there's romance in a book, but I'm not a fan of that. So you're never going to hear me talk about Sarah J. Maas, for example. Like I said, I don't care what anybody else reads. It's just not for me. And I feel like there's a huge percentage of people, especially female booktubers, who are talking about that. And I felt like every video I watched, I was just like, no, no, no. So I think by putting my own stuff out there, there might be people like me who align with my likes and dislikes as well. So I did really want to get back into this. That being said, I did want to mention that when I started this channel, I didn't realize how much it was going to feel like I'm not doing enough, I'm not reading enough. You watch other booktubers and they have videos every week, they have videos every month talking about the 19 books they read that month. And to be honest, and very straightforward, that's not me. I read a lot, I've always read a lot, but I don't read fast. So I'm not going to be reading 15 books in a month and telling you about the 300 books I read this year. It's just not going to be that way. And so there may be times when I don't put out videos for a while, or I put out a video and it's just talking about one book that I really liked, or one book that I particularly hated. And I am planning on releasing a video very soon about all the books I have been reading, and then my own fall recommendations. So I did want to talk about that a little bit, because I do feel like it seems like you have to read nonstop in order to make videos for YouTube. And I just don't think that's true. And, you know, my channel might stay very small, and it, won't be as consistent, or the videos might not be produced as much because of that. But this is not my full-time job. I have a full-time job. I'm doing this for fun because I like reading. I like books. And part of me felt like because I wasn't reading 30 books a month or whatever, that I wasn't qualified to do this. But I have always been a reader. I actually went to school for English literature and writing, so I'm definitely qualified to be here. Not that you even have to be. Somebody who started reading last month can start making a YouTube channel and talk about the books that they like, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it was a weird insecurity that I had. And I want people to see this and sort of realize that in order to be a reader, you don't have to be only a reader or have that be the main part of your identity. You can be a reader while being many other things. So in a way, I was saying it's okay to read one book a month or one book a year. I think as long as you're reading, that's a great thing. So I am going to do this more consistently, even if it's just, here's the book I read and whatever. But I have been trying to read more recently. I did fall off for a while because, like I said, my job was stressful. I had a lot of things to do. And so sometimes I get burnt out and I don't read as much, which I know is bad. And I should force it into my schedule because I do really enjoy it and do want to do more of it. So I have been making a point to read more. I actually went on vacation and we were camping and there was nothing to do and I didn't want to waste my phone battery, so I wasn't looking at my phone and I was just reading, and it sort of reset my brain in a way where I was really enjoying just reading and having that quiet time and not being involved with technology or my phone or, being caught up in that sort of thing. So it was really nice, and I really enjoyed it, and it sort of reset my brain to be focused on reading. So I've been reading a lot more. So I do have books I want to talk to you about. I did try to read one cozy fantasy because it's been so popular, and I love fantasy, and the idea of reading a cozy book was something that interested me, but I kind of knew it wasn't for me, but I did want to try it. And turns out it was not for me. And this book in particular is getting very popular at the moment, and I don't understand it, not because it's cozy, but because of the way it's written. And I will go into that. But I have been reading very consistently. I have a lot of fall recommendations that are coming up. I just wanted to say hello and tell you how I felt. And, the reason why I've been gone so long, but I'm going to make an effort to do this more often. So I hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to chatting about books with you very soon.